This is Women in Music with Gfire Podcast, episode number 50 with singer-songwriter Carter Sampson. Welcome to my podcast, Carter.
You
look so cute. You've got like a little bandana going, some red eyeglasses, and
yeah,
I understand.
love a good accessory.
Well, yeah, accessories are fun.
Yeah, some of them you need. The glasses I need, but yeah, you can make them fun.
Oh, okay, so you have tinted glasses for regular use?
I do. Yeah, I have several pairs. I have pink ones and red ones. They make things slightly better, but they do have my prescription in, so they help me see.
Awesome. Well, let's get started on my little podcast questions. Where are you from originally?
I was born and raised in Oklahoma City, Oklahoma, and I fifth or sixth generation Okie. My family's been here a long time, so yeah.
Nice. And do you still live in Oklahoma?
I do. I live in a small town called Luther, about 30 miles away from Oklahoma City on Route 66. We're right off the old Route 66, which is nice. I spent the first 18 years of my life trying to figure out how to get out of here, and I did. And I lived in Boston for a while, and a couple of other places, and now I'm here, and it's not that bad. It's really not. I'm happy to be where I am. I also love to travel, so.
Well, right, like today here in Austin, it's in the 80s, I think.
Yeah.
At least 70s. I'm not sure, but it's nice and warm and sunny.
Yeah.
Because I'm from Baltimore where it gets really cold, and I don't like cold.
Yes, I don't either. I'm with you.
So let's see, what is your route of being a singer-songwriter? Did you start at an early age? Did you take music lessons? What got you on this path?
I always loved music from a very young age. In fact, I went to a music school instead of preschool. It was a music-based preschool that I think gave me my first taste of the stage and the microphone. And that was, I don't know, 4 years old. My dad played in a band, and my mom and grandmother sang in the church choir. My grandmother played the organ and piano, and so it was always around. I did know from a very young age that that's what I wanted to do with my life, and I loved to sing. In the 8th grade, I auditioned for the choir, and I didn't make the cut, so I probably wasn't very good back then. But it really spurred me to want to learn an instrument, because I didn't want anyone to be in charge of whether I could sing or not. That was the one thing that brought me joy. So that's why I picked up the guitar, and luckily my dad plays, and so he taught me what he knew, and yeah, the rest is history.
Exactly. So it's all based in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, really.
And when did you write your first song?
Oh, I would say high school. So I think I picked up the guitar at 14, and I hated it, and it hurt my fingers, and I played for 3 months and was terrible at it. And so I quit for a year, I would say, until I was 15, 16, when I saw another woman at a camp that I went to playing guitar, and I was like, well, she can do it. I can do it. I'll try again. And I did. And probably shortly after that, I know it was definitely in high school. I had my first band at the age of 16 too, and could write all the songs for the band. But, every dude in high school plays guitar. So we had 6 guitar players. So I wasn't really a guitar player in the band, just a singer and a writer. But I do love writing songs. It's one of my favorite parts of what I do.
And are you just on tour a lot? Is that how you make a living, or?
Yeah, pre-COVID, a lot more than I am now, but it's getting busier and busier. I have a new album coming out in April, and a tour planned for the UK in June, and before COVID, I was doing quite well in Europe and over there a lot, in the Netherlands and Italy and the UK quite a bit. And then, the COVID put stop to all that travel, and I'm really excited to get back over there, and I really I love to travel, but I also love to play shows over there. They're I don't want to say nicer, but maybe more respectful audiences over there. Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah.
Agreed. I got to play at Cannes at Midem one year.
Oh, wow. How was that?
It was beautiful. I just loved it. I haven't
Yeah.
done a lot of shows
Some
over
of
there,
those
but
places, some of those places when I would like look out and be like, how am I here right now? But, in front of some ancient church or something that you're just like, wow, I can't believe I'm playing music in this spot.
yeah, it's older than our whole country is.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what are some of your career highlights?
Hmm. Getting to play music full time was like a big one when I hit that. Oh man, it's 8 or 9 years ago now, where I was able to support myself. I also sell vintage clothes, so that's just like a side hustle. But I was able to put down my waitressing apron and stop bartending and play music full time. So that was definitely a moment where I was finally doing exactly what I wanted to do. Let's see, the European stuff has been great to me. I got to play in Glastonbury at the big festival,
Oh yeah.
200,000 people, and they have 100 stages, which is crazy. It's mind-blowingly huge. And yeah, that I played in the Netherlands. I've played some really beautiful churches and places in Italy that I'll never forget. But I am super thankful on the daily that I get to do what I love. I really I have a lot of gratitude for that because I know it's something I've worked really hard at, and I've had a little bit of luck there too. But yeah, every day I get to do it is a good day.
And how did you get hooked up in Europe?
Folk Alliance. There's a music conference called Folk Alliance that happens in Kansas City, and we had an Oklahoma room several years in a row, brought by Horton Records, which is a nonprofit record label that I work with, which is unheard of really in the music business. They're a nonprofit organization, and they are releasing my new record and a lot of other local musicians' albums and projects. So they put on this Oklahoma room, and I met a Dutch promoter, and it all just kind of went from there. And now I'm working with different people over there, and I love it. I've always loved hanging out in England and the UK, and I'm real excited to go back.
That sounds wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
That's a real success story, excuse me, for Folk Alliance.
Yeah, right. Well, I went, 6 or 7 years before that, and nothing happened.
Right, exactly. You gotta be tenacious.
I had a lot of fun, though.
Yeah, that's important.
Yeah, right place at the right time. It's
Yeah,
crazy if you've never been. It's
I haven't because I'm kind of a
experience.
mishmash. I'm kind of a folktronica artist, so I have a lot of electronic beats, and
That's awesome.
I haven't really found the right venue for me to promote myself like a Folk Alliance for folktronica folks.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, but you deserve to be there. You should.
That's true. I mean, I could just break out some songs on. I don't write very much on guitar. I write mostly on piano. Do they have keyboards around there at Folk
Sure,
Alliance?
yeah.
Okay.
I mean, some rooms do. Yeah,
Well,
it's a thing. It's a whole crazy experience.
it's something maybe I should do instead of saying, "Oh, I have to have my electronics." I don't have to have them. I mean, a lot of
Or do have them. That's what you do. I think that's great. Who says there's a set group of instruments that can be used in a genre? I say do it. I say that's what makes good and new music is combining those genres and making new sounds.
well, that's why I like it. So
Right, yeah.
I guess I could bring the whole kit and caboodle. We'll see how that plays out. But
I
well,
support you.
do you want to describe now? This new album is called what?
Gold.
Gold.
It's
Okay,
called-
so the single that I listened to is the lead, the title track. Okay,
It
great. Tell me a little bit about that story.
Yeah, I wrote that one for my mom. It's kind of obvious in the lyrics of it, but another music related conference that happens is in Nashville, the Americana Fest. And several years ago, I was going to that, and I think my car took a giant dump in her driveway and just quit working, and I had a meltdown and was crying, and she fixed it and made everything okay, like she always did. And then as I was driving to Nashville in her car, I was feeling kind of guilty for, crying and her bailing me out again. And I just didn't want her to worry about me. So that's where the song Gold came from, because I am super thankful for her. She's been a good mom. And I just want her to know that in the future, I'm going to be okay.
It's just so nice. Okay, so here's what I'll say. Let's let the listeners hear the song.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got scars, I've got lines, they are souvenirs from harder times. I punched out the glass when it got in my way. I could see out, but it wouldn't let me straight. I've been working twice as hard as most everybody else. I was running so fast I outran myself, just trying to be heard, stand out from the crowd. See what comes out of me when I'm turned up loud. Mama, don't you worry about me, I'll be fine. My tears come as easy as I leave them behind. I won't be bought, no, I won't be sold. I'll be alright, Mama, 'cause you made me out of gold. Those other guys do. So braid my hair from the top of my head, 'cause I don't have time to deal with it. Mama, don't you worry about me, I'll be fine. My tears come as easy as I leave them behind. I won't be bought, no, I won't be sold. I'll be alright, Mama, 'cause you made me out of gold. Well, I've clipped my own wings, I've tied my own hands. I walked all the way home from the promised land. I put it all back together when it all fell apart. I've given everything I've got with my whole heart. Don't you worry, Mama, I'll be fine. My tears come as easy as I leave them behind. I won't be bought, no, I won't be sold. I'll be alright, Mama, 'cause you made me out of gold. Made me out of gold.
Oh, wow. That's really powerful.
Thank you.
I feel the emotions in it. I felt it the first time I heard it. I think that's why I was like, yeah, I'll have her on my podcast. She sounds really delightful.
Thank you. Thank
yeah.
you. It's authentic. I mean, every word of it.
What are some of the other songs about on the new album?
You know, I love a good story song. So there's I did some research about the Dust Bowl. You know, growing up in Oklahoma, we learn about it in school, but it wasn't until I was a grown person where I through really processed what happened during all that and how terrible it must have been. And I learned that I'm really glad I was not alive back then, because I don't know if I would have made it. But
You
Black
probably wouldn't be in the
Blizzard,
same position as you are now.
right? A Black Blizzard is about that, and the story of kind of what it must have been like to go through that. And we actually used more electronics on especially that song, but on the whole album more than I've ever used in the past. We used a lot of drum machines and programmed bass parts. And my buddy that I made the record with, Kyle Reed, we call him a wizard because he's really good with all of the electronics. And I think it's a really cool, it kind of makes me want to go to the skating rink.
Oh, wow. That's
Black Blizzard. Yeah, it's kind of got that vibe to it, kind of that kind of 80s fun, even though it's a dark song. Yeah. Let's see what else is on there. There's a song called Yippee-Yi-Yo that I wrote as a feminist cowgirl song because
nice.
I didn't really know of any, and I thought we should have one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need more gals that are doing all
do.
this stuff that was traditionally male and all that.
It's true. What else is on there? I have a song called Home that I wrote. I started writing in the Netherlands. You hate the winter, so you can relate. The first line is I hate the cold. I was in the Netherlands and it was really dark and gray and cold for days, and it was really starting to get to me. But that song I finished actually in my home where I'm sitting now. It's the first home I've ever owned. And we recorded the whole A side of the album in my living room, which was really cool. Mainly because I didn't have to put real pants on or a bra. I could just come downstairs and work. But we also used, I have a round metal fireplace. We sampled parts of that to use in the song. So the song Home is special because I finished it here and then we recorded it and used pieces of the house in the song.
Nice. That's really innovative. Is that due to the wizard?
Yes. Kyle is great. You know, Kyle has played pedal steel in my band for a long time, and I just love him to pieces. He's always positive and fun to work with. And so the two of us recorded the whole new record on our own. He did all the engineering on the A side. Like I said, we did it here at my house, and then COVID hit. So about 8 months into it, we set up a situation where I could be in Kyle's recording studio in his backyard, and he ran cords and cables through the windows and the doors. And so we were still socially distanced, but we could keep working on the record. So the B side was done at his house. And yeah, I think we had intended on maybe bringing in some other people to work on it, but I really, we'd been listening to a lot of old JJ Cale, and he uses a lot of drum machine, and thought it was cool and it was working. We do have one fiddle part. A friend of mine came in and played fiddle, and then a few songs have an upright bass, an actual real upright bass. But the rest of it is Kyle and I, and it was a lot of fun working in that kind of laid back situation.
Nice. I wish I had somebody come over here to record me in my jammies.
It's really good.
I always ask, do you have any cautionary tales, anything to tell, cool stories or not so cool or just interesting?
Let me think. Oh, my whole life has been interesting. I guess
That's the Chinese curse, right? May you have an interesting life.
When you get into music, it's kind of part of the deal, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
No, I had, about 10 years, I had an RV. I'd always wanted to get an RV. And, when most gals my age were buying homes, I wanted to buy a home on wheels. And so I did. And I spent 5 years in it, both solo and then with a partner. And it was wonderful. I say, if you have some crazy dream like that, to go and do it, and to not make regrets over things that were hard sometimes. I mean, really, there were moments where I'm like, why am I doing this? I hate this thing and it's broken down. But now that I look back, it was a really special time, and a time when I learned a lot about myself too.
Yeah. Now, when you toured, do you just bring Kyle, or do you have a full band that goes to Europe, or?
Well, both. I I do a lot of solo stuff and do the songwriter storyteller thing, which is a lot of fun. And when I do that, sometimes Kyle will play pedal steel or guitar with me. And then I do have the full rock and roll band. We have a 5-piece band. We don't travel far with those guys yet, but mostly just regional stuff. It's a lot. My drummer has a retired prison van that we travel in sometimes, which is so glamorous. So glamorous. But then
it makes for an
a
interesting
few
story.
times, yeah, right. A few times I've used players, Dutch musicians. I used them on a few tours, and then I took some friends from Tulsa one time that we played as a trio. And the last time I went, Kyle and then another friend of mine, Jason Scott, went, and same thing, trio situation. So yeah, I kind of do it all. I kind of like doing the extremes of the full rock and roll show is always really fun, but also the intimate storytelling singer-songwriter is also really something that I enjoy doing.
And in Europe, you do mostly what?
Mostly the storytelling, mostly the singer-songwriter.
Mostly solo, because it's easier to just travel by yourself.
Yeah, it is. My next tour is a song swap. So I have a friend out of Nashville, Amelia White. She's great. We're just going to kind of do a singer-songwriter swap. We'll probably do some shows where she plays one set and then I play a set and then we play some together. We'll probably swap back and forth. But yeah, the smaller the traveling situation, the better in Europe.
It's expensive over there.
To bring the upright bass and the drums and all.
Oh yeah,
all that
it's just a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Excellent. Let's make sure I get your website.
Yeah, it's cartersampson.net.
.net. Okay.
Net. Yeah.
Somebody else have .com?
I think so. I think that happened at some point in time, a long time ago, and I don't even.
You don't? Yeah, I remember initially I wanted.
I should probably look into it, but
yeah, I wanted gfire.com, and somebody had taken it, and I think they wanted like $500,000 for the domain at the time.
Nah, I'm good.
Sure. So yeah. I ended up with gfiremusic.com. So
and that's cool. That works.
Enough. Yes, it does.
Yeah.
All right. Oh, I do like to hear road stories. Do you have any road stories?
Oh my gosh, I do have so many road stories.
Because you're used to being a solo singer-songwriter, which means you intersperse your songs with some road stories.
Sure. The one that's coming to mind right now is when I first kind of, I think it was my first official tour, and some friends of mine that had a bluegrass band were taking this really cool old tour bus up to Colorado to play like 12 dates. And I was like, let me come with you. You don't have to pay me. Let me open and I'll sell whatever I can and I'll treat it like a vacation. So we went, and the first show we got to this really beautiful like 1950s bus that had been totally renovated and everyone had their own bed and it was really cool. We slept in it one night and woke up the next morning and the driver, we think he might have gotten thrown in jail. He never showed up. And none of us had a CDL license, so we couldn't drive that bus. But the bus owner had another bus that one of us could drive that was just a heap. Like it was from the 70s and it was being restored. So the whole back end had been removed. There was just like a wooden floor. There was a drumstick and then like a sock that someone had wiped their butt on. And that was it in the back of this vehicle. No air conditioner, no electricity, but it ran. And so we took it, and every day was ridiculous, but we ended up, it broke down and we left it by the side of the road in Clayton, New Mexico.
Oh my gosh.
Such an adventure. I remember like being in the back of it and it was so hot and so miserable. And I was like, this is it. This is all I want to do. I was like, so ridiculous. Every night people would be like, oh my gosh, we want to check out the bus. Can we come see it? And I'm like, you don't want to.
You don't want to see this one. You would have liked the other one.
The first stop we made, I bought a bottle of bleach and some incense. I was like, let's do this.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Yeah. But there's lots.
So you never found out what happened to the driver?
Nope. I think jail was the final consensus.
Jail. Okay.
Yeah. He must have had a fun night the night before because he didn't show up.
Oh my gosh. All right, give me another.
Well, we broke down again. This last time I went to the Netherlands, Kyle and Jason and I were driving from the Netherlands to the coast of France to put the car on a boat to go over to the UK to play some more shows. And we broke down on the side of the road in Belgium. And like, I had no idea where we were. And I called our tour manager and it was like, we're broken down. We need your help. He goes, where are you? And I was like, somewhere in Belgium.
Oh my gosh.
And miraculously, he found us in like less than 3 hours and we ended up making the whole thing. It was crazy, but
that's a good one. That's a happy ending one.
Right. Yeah.
I read your bio. You've got a bunch of awards. Why don't you, toot your own horn here?
I had a brief time where I entered a bunch of songwriting contests, and I'm glad I did. I learned a lot. I won a few. I flubbed a few. I was really embarrassed at, my performance at one, and then another one I won first place, and it was glorious. And I don't know if I'll ever do them again, but I'm glad that I did. And yeah, I won first place at Merle Fest in North Carolina, and that's the Chris Austin songwriting contest, which is a big one. And I was a finalist in the new song contest, so I got to play at the Lincoln Center in the lobby, but it's still in the building.
We were in the Lincoln Center.
Yeah, I sang in the Lincoln Center.
Wow.
In the lobby.
In the lobby. Oh, wow. Because I saw that. I'm like, well, that's cool.
Yeah. It was, like I said, all of them were an experience. It was very strange to have someone, literally in front of you judging what you're doing. Because, music, you normally, if somebody doesn't like it, they don't normally let you know.
All they do on YouTube sometimes. But.
Well, that's true. Yeah, that's very true. But yes, I'm glad I did it. Learned a lot. Don't think I want to do another one.
Okay. So that was just some stuff from the past that you can, say, hey, I did this.
Yeah, they're cool. I say if you're starting writing songs, try them out. Some of them are expensive, and I don't think they're probably that reputable, but there are some really great festival ones. Planet Bluegrass out of Colorado, they do some really cool ones at Telluride and the Rocky Mountain Folks Festival. I've done both of those. Telluride stage was one of the most beautiful places I've ever played. Looking out over the mountains was just breathtaking. Wow.
And why were you there for the whole
that was
contest?
Yep, one of their songwriting contests.
Okay.
It is 1/4 or something in that one.
Nice.
Yeah.
So that has to be a highlight too, like playing in such a beautiful venue.
Yeah, I did get some great opportunities in that sense for sure.
Excellent. Well, throw in anything else. What else have I not covered? I don't know if I should bring this up, but there's a lot of rainbows. I was just
super supportive, and yes, identifying. Yes.
Okay, I was.
Yeah, I have a boyfriend we've been together for 8 years. He's great. Yeah, this was my whole situation for the pandemic. I don't know if you can totally see it. It's I have a lot of tchotchkes in my house anyways, but during the pandemic when it first started, I was like, oh my God, what am I gonna do? And all I could think about was like, because I don't have kids and I don't want kids and I love kids, but all I could think about was like single moms that had a bunch of kids and were, probably losing their minds or whatever you would do with having kids. So I figured out the one thing that I could do was this, like the Facebook lives, and I did them every single morning for like 3 solid months, and then did like every other day. And then I did a lot, like 70 plus of them. And so this is
wow.
And I play songs and read Shel Silverstein poems, and so yeah, this is kind of my. And I leave it here because it's just kind of a happy corner to hang out in.
Yeah, who are some of these busts of?
All Elvis, all Elvis.
They're all Elvis.
Well, we have Dolly Parton here, but this is Elvis. We still have Christmas decorations up.
Christmas, okay.
Elvis, yeah, all kinds of fun stuff.
Nice.
Yeah, big Elvis fan. Elvis and Dolly are up there. I've got my Dolly Parton pillow.
You have a Dolly Parton pillow.
I do.
I've never seen a Dolly Parton pillow before.
It was a gift, and a photographer, I guess, took this beautiful picture of Dolly, and Dolly okayed for her to make pillows out of it. So
very sweet. That's classic there.
Yeah. Yeah, they're my favorites.
Do you post a lot to any of the socials?
I don't very much, not probably like I should. It kind of was wearing on me for a while, and not so good for my emotional state and my brain in general. I'm still on there, and yes, I do post things mostly about shows. I'm I'm on there for basically that, and I hope people listen to my music through it. I haven't done TikTok yet. I'm like, it's on my list.
I'm doing a little on there.
You are? Do you like it?
It's okay. I'm mostly promoting like my singing lessons that I give, and I figure after a while, if they like the singing, maybe they'll check out my originals as well. But
Yeah.
I post like breathing exercises and things like that, and people seem to like that. They like
that's
vocal
helpful.
tips.
Yes,
So that's
cool.
the only thing I've done on TikTok. I haven't tried to, because you only get like 20, 30 seconds, and then they want to go on to the next thing. So haven't really put my music up because you kind of want the whole thing.
Yeah. What
So
are you doing?
yeah, I've just done vocal tips so far.
Well, that's cool. Yeah, all my friends are telling me to get on, and I'm resisting for some reason, but I will. It'll happen.
It's fine. I mean,
Yeah. I'll tell you when it will happen. I do I run the rock and roll camp for girls in Oklahoma City, and
there we go.
taken the last few years off for COVID, but we're back this year, and by then those awesome girls will get me on there and hooked up with all the hip stuff that I have no idea about. Hang out with like 10-year-olds for a week, and you'll be so cool.
I do. I mean, I teach kids piano. I've got kids over here all the time. And like yourself, I don't have kids. I love kids, but then I just do music with them.
Right. Being an aunt is like the greatest thing on earth.
Absolutely, yes.
All in. I'm all in.
Well, Carter, you're just a delight.
Thank
I think
you.
we covered pretty much a lot of stuff, right?
Yeah. Thanks for having me. Nice to meet you.
Absolutely. Just a joy to interview, and I hope that your tour goes great.
Yeah, I need to come down to Austin.
Yeah.
My dad lives outside of Austin now, so
Oh.
there's no reason for me not to be playing shows.
Come on down. Let me know.
I will. Thank you.
Yeah, not a problem. Have a great rest of your evening.
You too. See you later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.